Well, morning dawns at a rest area in the Georgia Welcome Center. Pulled in here about 2 a.m. last night and got my setup. You can see. I just tried to get as much light blocked as I could. I got my sprockets. Oh, got my towels. Got my double towels here and my towels there, and I probably should get a little light. So, woo, that's bright. Woo, that's bright. Taking my window down there. But I had a good trip. This is I guess day, I'm bad at math. Day 19? I guess this be day 19. 19, 20. Yeah. Day 19. So this is the longest vacation I'll probably will ever have. And I rented this Dodge Durango. What is it? 2022 all-wheel drive GT. Been a great vehicle. Put right at about 4,500 miles on it. 19 days. And I had a really good trip. I just didn't have any destinations that I was planning on going to. I just said I'm going to get in and I'm just going to drive. And so I started 19 days ago and drove up and saw a lusty battlefield in Lake City. When I was going to stop by a junkyard, I thought I could get something at, but they didn't allow you in, but it worked out good. I found that battlefield. It was the largest Civil War battle in Florida. And 3,000 Yankees died and a little less than 1,000 Confederates died, but we did win that battle. And then I cruised on up and stopped in Charleston and walked around the city that night and got to see a guy arrested, slammed on the ground because he thought he was going to get cute and run from the cops, and ended up at Hall's Chop House. Had one of the best filet mignons there. I suggest that in Charleston. And I forget the karaoke bar I went, but I went down to a karaoke bar after I ate steak and had a real fun time with the kids there. They like my Eminem song and sang Seeger. They both like that. And then I met a nice homeless man, Milton. I remember his first name, Milton. Met a lot of homeless people on this trip. My goodness, it seemed like everywhere I go I'd get accosted, and if I had a good feeling they seemed legit, I'd help them out, but some I'd just have to move on. But I tell you, America's in a little bit of trouble on that, because I mean, everywhere I went, you know, there were homeless people, and I went probably 20 cities at least, and they'd be in the rest areas, city, just everywhere. But anyways, that's another story. Then the following day, like I said, I'd sleep in this car at a rest area, and I went down to the USS Yorktown. That was an aircraft carrier, the CV-10, not the CV-5. We lost the CV-5 early in the war, but got to tour it. That's an immense carrier, just absolutely amazing. And they also had parked beside it the USS Laffey. I went to it. It survived 6 kamikaze attacks. The USS Laffey did. There were 6 men died in one of the gun turrets in one of the kamikaze attacks. But it was the ship that wouldn't die. And I've got some video. I don't know if I've posted it all. But after that, I cruised on up to Charlotte, North Carolina, and spent the night with my daughter and son-in-law. And we did some karaoke at a cool bar down there. Had some real good people. Enjoyed that. And then we set out on our journey to Mammoth Cave, Kentucky. We spent a couple days there. We got the Mammoth Cave cabin rentals. That was beautiful. I've got videos if you care to look. This is more my own blog than anything, so I can remember my trip. And so we went down there and stayed on a beautiful cabin on a lake, and Went down to Mammoth Cave and toured it. And man, that's amazing. My God. It had, I think it was 6 or 7 miles. We went on 2 tours, the Grand Avenue tour and the historic tour, and was there all day long. But people, I tell you, if you've never been to Mammoth Cave, Kentucky before you die, you got to see that. Put that on your bucket list, because that'll just blow your mind. I mean, it was flat amazing. And we had some good eating there in Kentucky, small towns. I fell in love on a hiking trail with a little girl from Glasgow. She wasn't wearing a wedding ring, but yeah, buddy, I think I fell in love about 5 times on this trip. So, yeah, did that. And we left Kentucky and then headed on up to through Tennessee and spent the night near Waynesville, North Carolina. Actually, excuse me, it was south of, just south of Cherokee. I guess it might have been Waynes. I forget the town. Waynesville's a beautiful town in North Carolina. You got to check it out to get a chance. And went up to Harris Casino. Had a good time there that night. Had a real good time there at Harris Casino. And then the next day we went and hiked Charles Bunyan. And there was another point. It'll come to me. Let me pause. I thought my brain worked. Klingman's Dome. We hiked up there. Boy, that's a steep climb. Don't run up it like I did. I thought I was going to die. But, man, it's got a big tower up there, and you can walk around. It's got 360-degree views. My goodness, what views. And it was in the fall, so we had leaves to look at. Just amazing views, you know. And so we went and done that, and finally, it was time to go home, so we had to drive home, and we picked her dog up at her mama's. First time I'd seen my ex in years, but it was good. She's real happy. She looked good, so I was glad to see her. Everything's going good in her life, and that was good. I was glad about that. Went down, dropped the youngins off at Charlotte, and then set out on my solo adventure. Went up to Hickory and spent the day with a really good friend of mine, Donnie Young, and we had a good time and got some eats and toured the city a little bit. Hickory's really improved. I thought it'd gone downhill, but Hickory is it's nice. Can't say the same for Newton Conover. They ain't looking too good, but Hickory's finally recovering. So yeah, I went there and took off and planned on just driving about 20 miles and ended up driving probably close to 200 that night. I drove way up 77 into Virginia. It was about 31, and I didn't have no cell phone service at the Virginia Welcome Center, and I didn't really know what I wanted to do, so I said, well, I need me some cell phone service. So kept on driving up 81 towards Roanoke and spent the night just outside Roanoke, and that was cold that night. It was about 32 degrees. So I was shivering a little bit that night because, you know, I showed you my digs. I just got but this, again, this little blanket here, I don't know if this is fleece or what, but my God, this thing is amazing. I mean, I would stay warm in all that really cold weather, you know. I never really did freeze except that first night. My body adjusted to it. And so anyways then, so the next morning I visited. They got this place in Roanoke. It's got the star on it. It's like 100 feet tall, and it lights up at night. I didn't get to see it at night, but that's amazing views. Again, I got videos of my trip if you care to have any interest in the blog. This is mainly for my own historical records of what I've done. I know this is long, but so I toured that, and then I went down to, they had a train and automotive and airplane museum. I got to see that in Roanoke, Virginia. That was really nice. And went over to the pinball museum. They got a pinball museum there. So I played pinball I could have played all day, but I played, I guess, about 3 hours, and they got probably 40. I don't know. I think it was about 40 machines. Again, I did a video on that. And I did that, and then I toured the city. They had this amazing Roanoke Hotel, and that's beautiful. And St. Andrew's Catholic Church, my goodness, now that was something to see. My gosh, that was absolutely beautiful. I'm going to pause here for part 1.